So if you're one of the, I don't know, millions of people scrolling through TikTok or Instagram Reels, you have almost certainly been hit with those distinctive pink
Oh,
boxes.
absolutely. They are everywhere.
We were talking about crumble cookies, of course.
Yeah.
The marketing is just, it's overwhelming. You've got influencers, these amazing photos, the whole deal.
It really is a masterclass in digital branding. And that's our mission for this deep dive, right? We want to figure out if this brand is actually worth the hype.
Yeah, is it real or is it just this, heavily marketed trend that kind of collapses once you actually taste the cookie?
Exactly. We're looking at their website, their history, and a lot of customer feedback to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, so let's start with the foundation. This isn't some fly-by-night thing. We checked the sources, and the domain has been active since, what, August 2017?
That's right. They are well established. And their public face, their facade, is basically flawless.
Lawless is the right word.
The whole hook is just so sophisticated. You land on the website and it's clean, it's modern. The photos of the cookies look impossibly high-end.
And the descriptions, they call them gourmet. They're selling you the idea of luxury before you've even smelled anything baking.
And then there's the psychological trick,
The weekly menu.
the weekly rotating menu. It creates this instant, really powerful FOMO.
Right. You don't just want a cookie. You need this week's cookie.
Yeah.
Because next week,
It could be gone forever. That scarcity drives this massive sense of urgency. It's brilliant from a marketing perspective.
so stage one is this perfect presentation. But this is where our deep dive really takes a turn.
It is, because for a brand that is so visually perfect, we found a pretty surprising lack of transparency.
That's the big question, isn't it? The website is completely focused on the look, on selling this idea, making you just want to click order now.
But if you actually stop and try to find basic information,
Like what? What are the actual ingredients?
good luck. Or, detailed nutritional information, it's either hidden or it's just not there. No real reassurance about quality control either.
It makes you wonder if that's a strategy. All that money on glossy photos and influencers? Maybe you have to cut costs somewhere else.
And maybe not being transparent about ingredients is a way to sort of shield the operation from too much scrutiny.
Well, the digital perfection definitely seems to end there. Let's talk about what happens when that pink box actually shows up at your door.
This is the reality check. We moved from their polished website to places like Trustpilot.
Oh.
And it was just filled with pretty disappointed customers. The contrast was honestly a little alarming.
So what were the main complaints? What kept coming up?
A few key things. First, people felt the cookies were just way overpriced for what they were getting.
Okay, so value for money was a big one.
A huge one. And then inconsistency. That was a massive red flag in the reviews.
Inconsistent how? Like sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Yeah. Exactly. People describe them as either ridiculously sweet, like almost inedible, or the texture was all over the place. Sometimes underbaked and gooey, sometimes overbaked. And it would vary a lot from store to store.
And for a brand that is built entirely on visuals, I think I know what the biggest complaint was.
You probably do. The most damning thing we found was complaint after complaint saying what they received.
Looked nothing like the pictures.
Looked nothing like the beautiful, perfect pictures online. The whole experience just failed to live up to the promise.
So wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway for you, the listener?
It seems like Crumble Cookies has built this incredibly powerful concept. It's backed by years of really smart marketing, but based on all this customer feedback, there's a huge gap between their A-plus digital game and a very inconsistent reality.
Which leaves us with a really interesting question for you to think about. In today's market, which is so driven by visuals, how long can that world-class branding and that intense FOMO marketing keep driving sales?
When the product itself might be letting people down.
Exactly. Seems like they've perfected the advertisement, but the real work of perfecting the product, that seems to be lagging behind.